If you're a business owner, 95% of all the sales videos that you're gonna see on this platform are always gonna be talking about how you can book more meetings, generate more leads, close more deals. But what this video is about to go into is the red-headed stepchild of sales. What is that? It's sales operations. So if you're in a sales team that's under 5 sales reps, this video probably isn't gonna be applicable to you because you have to scale the dirty way. Once you have over 5 sales reps, it becomes more of a sales organization. You're really gonna wanna start thinking about sales operations. So in this video, we're gonna go through the top 10 things that you should be automating in your sales process to make your sales managers more efficient with their time, your sales reps more efficient, and on your weekly sales calls and leadership calls, being able to understand what data and metrics and KPIs should be tracked and numbers that you should be paying attention to. So let's get into it. The first thing you're gonna wanna be automating is your pipeline. So the biggest problem with sales reps, and I've been one of these, is they don't update their numbers, right? They get paid on setting meetings or closing deals. That's what their focus is on. Their focus is not on bookkeeping, updating tags, updating pipeline stages, adding notes into the pipeline, right? That's what they're really not good at. So you wanna make sure that they waste as little amount of time as possible on doing the bookkeeping inside of your CRM. So what you should automate inside of the pipeline. So whenever someone books a call on your calendar, there should be an automatic pipeline stage that gets moved into a meeting booked type stage. That's number one. A big thing to use in the automation process is tags. So a sales rep adds one singular tag, and from that, you could automate 3 to 5 to 10 actions inside of your CRM based off of that one action. So instead of them having to do those 10 things individually, all they have to do is just add a tag and everything else in the background is taken care of for them. So in our internal sales team, what we always like to do is call qualified, call unqualified. If they add in call unqualified, they're gonna be moved to a nurture stage. That nurture stage is then gonna automate a nurture email sequence. That prospect will then get emailed every 15 to 30 days automatically. The sales rep doesn't have to worry about it. If that call is qualified, then it's gonna automatically move them into a qualified meeting showed. And then from there, there's gonna be a task that's created for the sales rep to send a follow-up email. There's gonna ask them what their forecasted sales close rate. It's gonna add in a date of expected close, usually about 30 to 45 days down the road so we can forecast properly. Number 2, you should have notifications when a new lead books a call. So if you're like me or any other business owner, you're probably on Slack, right? So if a new lead books a call, there should be an automation, or if they fill out a form, there should be an automation inside of Slack saying, boom, new lead inbound, name, email, the attribution source, right? They came from an ad, they came from organic. There should be a link to the CRM so the rep can easily click on that new inbound lead, give them a call, book them on the calendar. You should also at the channel so everyone gets notified. Speed to lead matters. You should be calling every opt-in lead within the first 5 to 15 minutes of them submitting their information. Number 3, sales reporting, data, analytics. You wanna be a data-driven sales organization, making decisions on a day-to-day basis based on the data that you're tracking. But most important part about that sentence is the data that you're tracking. So what data should you be tracking? You should be tracking data in regards to the setting process. How many leads inbounded? Of those leads, how many were called? Of those leads that were called, how many picked up? Of those leads that picked up, how many were qualified or unqualified? Of those qualified leads, how many booked a call? Now backtrack to what I just said. If all of those things happen, there should be a tag that's created that automates now the reporting process so you can pull data and reports based off of these tags that automate those other processes in your pipeline. On a closing percentage, how many booked calls did I have this day on the calendar? Of those calls, how many showed? Of those showed, how many did I actually pitch or give the pricing to? Of those, how many get a contract? What are hot leads? Which leads actually closed in that specific day? Sales qualifications. So you should be qualifying each single call that happens, right? The best acronym for this is BANT: budget, authority, need, and timeline. Budget. Do they actually have dollars and cents allocated to the product or service that you're selling? Authority. Do they actually have the authority to sign on the dotted line? Are they the decision maker? Need. Do they have an inherent need for the product or service that you're selling? Timeline. Are they going to be making a buying decision within the constraints of your sales cycle? 30, 45, 45, 60, 90 days. If they meet 3 or 4 of those qualifications, they are then a qualified lead. Why does this matter in tracking and reporting? So now we can see of the leads that are qualified for budget, authority, and timeline have this close percentage. The people who are authority, need, and timeline, not budget, what is their close percentage? So you can better understand that if a lead hits those 3 or 4 qualifications, this is their expected close rate based on the qualifications internally. End of day reminders. So in Slack, you can go to settings, workflow builder. You can set an automated channel message that goes out at the same time every single day to a specific channel. So you should have a channel for your setters, a channel for your closers, a channel for your sales managers, right? At the end of every day, say 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's gonna be a message saying, hey, comment in this thread with your daily end of day numbers. How many calls did you make? How many pickups? How many booked calls for a closer? How many calls are booked? How many showed? How many closed? How many got a pitch? Having those on a day-to-day basis is gonna be able to help you track those metrics and create a habit for your salespeople to be on top of the ball and report on what they do and what you pay them for. Post-call follow-ups. This is huge. You wanna make sure that you're messaging the prospects a follow-up or a reminder or a thanks for meeting email or text message after the call. So after the call is ran, the salesperson adds the tag, qualified meeting showed, boom, there's then an automation in your CRM. After 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, it sends an automated email saying, hey, thanks for your time today. This is what we explained, X, Y, and Z. Sales onboarding. So when you close a client, this is the peak of their interest in your company, your product, your service. This is when they're at their absolute happiest with you, right? So once you close a deal, add a tag or update the pipeline stage of close one deal. From there, it should automate the onboarding steps. What we do is we send a text saying, hey, this is the founder of the company, just got the good news, really excited for you to join the team here at Automated Revenue. Keep an eye out in your inbox for a couple of emails coming through with your onboarding steps. 2 minutes later, we then send an email with all their onboarding steps. Once they fill out that onboarding, there's an automation into a channel with our client success managers. They're able to onboard that client. So essentially it takes out all the guesswork, and if they have back-to-back calls, they're not gonna onboard that client until later on in the day. You wanna capitalize on that signed contract, on that cash collected. So if you're watching this video, if you got to this point, you've heard everything I've said and you're like, hey, I'm not really tracking that. What you should be doing is investing in a sales ops. Either take a course, hire somebody whose sole focus is sales operations. This is gonna help you become more data-driven, and adding in sales ops is gonna help you close anywhere from 1 to 3 new deals that you wouldn't have closed if you're not tracking these types of things or automating these types of things than you are today. Like and subscribe.